Warm greetings, Shwan and present here. And in this presentation, we are going to have a look on periodical essay, again one of the literary forms. In the earliest PowerPoint presentation, we had a brief look on critical essays and aphoristic essays, and now comes the periodical essay. And in the forthcoming PowerPoint, we would look upon another type of essay. So this periodical essay rose to prominence in the early 18th century, coinciding with the growth of journalism. So how was it connected with journalism? So a periodical essay is a short work of non-fiction that appears in a magazine or journal as part of a series. So the periodical essays were popular in the 18th century and were often entertaining and moralizing. So we say it as periodical. நம்மளுடைய பத்திரிகைகளில் வரக்கூடிய நாளிதழ்களில் வரக்கூடிய இணைப்புகள் இருக்கு இல்லையா, that is called periodicals. So this presentation is going to explore the origin, the key figures and the defining characteristics of the influential literary form and their discourse in 18th century. So the rise of periodical essay. It was a true mirror of the 18th century and it flourished during the 15-year period between 1709 and 1759. It was tightly connected to specific datable changes in politics, in law and in publishing practices. So the founder of periodical essay is Steele on April 12, 1709, the day he launched his Tatler. So in the early 18th century, journalism grows in popularity, providing fertile ground for essays. So it had its peak during the 18th century, and next comes Daniel Defoe's review. He sets a fashion for periodical essays. So this Daniel Defoe was the person who was a journalist and an English writer, and he is also a merchant. He is the author of great novel Robinson Crusoe, Moll Flanders and a Journal of the Plague Year. And his contribution was remarkable in periodical essays. Then comes Richard Steele and Joseph Addison. Those were the acknowledged masters who popularized this form called periodical essay. Next is the Tatler. This is one of the periodical. The founder of this particular Tatler is Richard Steele, who launched in 1709, and the objective of this periodical is to expose the false art of life, pulling off the disguises of cunning, vanity and affectation, and recommending a general simplicity in dress, discourse and behavior. Actually, the Tatler was a literary and society journal that covered political news, social commentary and literary criticism. It also included essays, short stories and letters from readers. It was a key part of Restoration period, reflecting and shaping the cultural landscape. So the magazine covered high society fashion and gossip, and it also included news and pictures of charity events, race meetings and more. So the magazine was renamed London Life, and then in 1968 the name was changed back to Tatler. So today the Tatler is a British magazine that focuses on fashion, lifestyle and politics. So we know that Sir Richard Steele was a person who launched in London this Tatler in April 1709. So this Tatler focuses on fashion, lifestyle as well as coverage of high society and politics, especially the upper middle classes and people interested in relevant societal events. So next comes the Spectator. It was replaced by Tatler in March 1711. Steele partnered with Joseph Addison and it was published in collaboration. So it has almost 550 issues published before ceasing in December 1712. So this was a daily periodical published in London from 1711 to 1712. It was written by both Joseph Addison and Richard Steele in collaboration. The periodical was intended to improve the morals, manners, and literature of the time. The periodical featured a humorous character named Mr. Spectator who published anecdotes about his contemporaries. So this periodical's goal was to improve the morals, manners, and literature of the day. The periodical was widely read, including James Madison when he was a teenager. The Spectator may also refer to a weekly British political and cultural news magazine that was published in July 1828. So, what is this Tatler and Spectator? Both are the periodicals. In collaboration, it was written by Richard Steele and Joseph Addison. So, this Spectator, the goal of commenting upon and improving the manners, and the subscribers could enjoy the essays over their tea tables and use them the matter for conversation. So next comes the social purpose of the Spectator. They have to enliven morality. They have to blend with morality with wit to make it more palatable. So what do you think is a wit? A wit is the ability to use words in a clever and an amusing way. And this morality, it is regarding the social concerns and the life of the humans. It was brought out in a witty manner with the help of Spectator, and palatable is to for a pleasant taste. They need a taste in everything, so the moral values are brought out in a very tastier way with the help of Spectator. So next comes the temper wit. Temper wit, though we have some temper towards the societal concerns, they have to maintain humor as well along with moral lessons. They also bring philosophy to daily life. They introduce the philosophical concepts to everyday settings like clubs, tea tables, and colleges. So its influence over the 18th century and the behavior of the periodical. Uh, these periodicals taught the 18th century how it should and especially how it should not. They behave in public and how it should like them, and as well as what is the way of treating oneself, especially the lovers, mistresses, husbands, wives, parents, and friends. So the behavioral changes occur with the help of the Spectator. So these lines were quoted by George Sainsbury. Sir Roger D. Coverley, he has a joint creation. Uh, joint creation, fictional character created by Joseph Addison and Richard Steele for the London periodical, the Spectator. The character was a country gentleman and member of the Spectator Club. His writings were considered to be the best feature of the Spectator. So, Sir Roger D. Coverley is a fictional character created by both these writers. So, it is featured or appeared on both Tatler and the Spectator. It's lively sketch of a country gentleman from Queen Anne's era. So, he was a Tory of the old school. His writings were considered to be the best feature of the Spectator. Then his writings included entertaining vignettes of early 18th century English life. So Sir Roger de Coverley may also refer to an English country dance that resembles the Virginia reel. The word was first used in 1804. The word's etymology is likely an alteration of Roger of Coverley. He also portrayed as an author of papers and letters that were published in Addison and Richard Steele's influential periodical. Next comes Dr. Samuel Johnson. His contributions to the periodical was memorable. One of his periodical is The Rambler and the other Idler. Rambler essays appear twice weekly. So every week they receive Rambler twice, and Idler was published every Saturday. So Johnson's essays mainly showcase his good sense and command of majestic language, though he tends to lecture rather than converse with readers. So Samuel Johnson is remarkable for his lasting contribution as a poet, playwright, and essayist, moralist. Moreover, he is a biographer, and he is best known for his lexicography. That is, um, he was, after publishing a famous dictionary, he was given a doctorate, and he is best known for his uh, narratives of the Hebrew Bible, a key role in transition from the biblical judges to the United Kingdom of Israel under Saul, and again in the monarchy's transition from Saul to David. So coming to Oliver Goldsmith, his essays, Citizen of the World, Public Ledger, or the periodicals to be kept in mind, series of letters, that is compilation of many more letters on English life by an imaginary Chinese visitor, is the Citizen of the World. And then Public Ledger, this is a contribution to the daily newspaper. This particular essay, Public Ledger, comes in the daily newspapers. It was contributed to the newspaper. Then essays, volume selected from papers in various periodicals. So he has written a number of essays. So what are the characteristics of periodical essays? Again, they have some social commentary. It reflects and gives criticism on the contemporary society. Then it had moral instruction as well. It aimed to improve the reader's behavior and ethics. Then comes the character studies. It developed detailed fictional personas, wit and humor. There is always a space for wit and humor, and then it used to engage readers and soften moral lessons. This, especially the usage of wit and humor, is to engage the readers and to make the lessons in a softened way. A persona is nothing but a social mask or a fictional character or a narrative voice. That is, a persona is a public image of person's personality or the social role they adopt. It can also be a strategic mask of identity that a person uses in public. Uh, every one of us is having a face in home, and we have a different face, different mask in the society. That is called persona. So a character is fictionalized and developed in an essay to bring out the character studies. So wit and humor, to make the lesson not always very serious, we have to introduce wit and humor in the essay. So, what is the impact on literary criticism? The periodical essay has proved to be an excellent medium for literary criticism. The essays are often discussed and analyzed contemporary works, helping to shape public opinion and literary taste. So, this format allowed for in-depth exploration of literary topics in an accessible manner for a wide audience. So, evolution from the 17th century, it primarily focused on the personal reflection and observed the personal life. So, after the 17th century comes the periodical essays with the emergence of blending social commentary with entertainment. So they added commentary and they made it entertaining in the 18th century. So in the mid 18th century, essays became more specialized, focusing on specific topics like literature or philosophy. So in the earlier period, their focus was only on the societal norms, social commentary and entertainment, whereas later part of the 18th century, they started doing it in literature and philosophy as well. So what is the legacy of the periodical essay? Where is its legacy? They had some social influence, of course, there is no doubt. They shaped the public opinion and behavior in the 18th century England. So their contribution to the evolution of English essay and novel is known for its development. So journalistic foundation, they laid groundwork for modern journalism and opinion pieces. Especially this journalism paid groundwork. They were the primary groundwork for journalistic aspects, and they shared opinion pieces. So who were the remarkable figures in this periodical essays? Significant figures of the periodical essays were Daniel Defoe. He was a pioneer with his review. Then comes Richard Steele, who was the founder of the Tatler and the co-founder of the Spectator. And Joseph Addison, he was a co-founder of the Spectator and master essayist. Then comes Samuel Johnson, who was a contributor to the Rambler and the Idler. Remember, Tatler and the Spectator is a periodical written by Richard Steele. Joseph Addison was the founder of the Spectator, and the Rambler and the Idler were by Samuel Johnson. So to conclude, what is the lasting impact of periodical essays? It is in the 18th century, they had a profound impact on English literature and society. It served as a mirror to the vanities and vices and foibles of contemporary society while asking for shaping the public discourse and behavior. Then the legacy of this form can still be seen in modern journalism, social commentary, and literary criticism. So, how far this periodical essay has contributed to the English literature and its ability to provide accessible commentary on social issues, trends through a conversational style, often engaging a wider audience by discussing everyday concerns with a relatable tone, while its primary disadvantage can be a potential lack of depth or rigorous analysis due to its brevity and focus on broad appeal. It may sometimes even oversimplify the complex topics to cater to a wider readership. So, these periodical essays were always relevant to the current events. They had wide accessibility. They had an engaging writing style. They had some moral and social commentary over there, and they were flexible to the topic range. And coming to the negative part of this is superficial analysis. Superficial analysis is they may not go deep into complex topics, potentially leading to oversimplification. So next comes this ephemeral nature. As these were published regularly, individual essays may quickly become outdated as new events unfold. So as new things emerge, the old vanishes. So it has a short lifespan of relevance. While the timelines of periodicals is a strength, it can also be a disadvantage. So with this, I would like to conclude this part of periodical essay. So hope you can rely on this presentation for further reference. You may have a look at Rambler, Tatler, Spectator, and what this periodical are so special about it. Fine. Thank you.